Good evening, one and all. I'm Harry Kettle with Sportskeeda and MMA Today, and tonight I'm joined by a very special guest. This man holds a 7-1 professional mixed martial arts record and is considered to be one of the hottest middleweight prospects in the world today. It is none other than Julian Marquez. Julian, how are you today?
Oh man, I'm fantastic. And yourself?
I'm very well, thank you very much. And first off, what's the last month of your life been since Winnipeg? And what's your general routine in the days and weeks after a fight?
Oh man, my life is so before I had freedom. Now I'm go go go. It's crazy. I'm getting a lot of people wanting to do interviews. A lot of people wanted me to have a couple signings and to appear for little stuff like fans, friends, and stuff. They want me to show up for their child's first birthday or their birthday party and wanted me to come over for Christmas and stuff like that. So, I'm more active and actively, supporting the people around me that supported me. So it's been pretty fun. That there's no boredom anymore. Where before this fight I would sit at home and play Call of Duty for hours and watch movies because I had nothing else to do but relax. It was fun. But to answer your other question of what my daily routines would be, right now after a fight, I tend to just have fun, and that's a big part of me is have fun and enjoy my time. And what I mean by having fun is it isn't what you think it is by going here for a party and doing all that. It's more so that when I go to train, I'm not training for one person. I'm not training for a style. I'm not training for a fight. I'm going to the gym and, doing stuff that I enjoy. So I'll hit mitts. I'll do my jujitsu. I'll still do my mental training and do all that stuff, but I'm not going at 100%. I'm not sitting there trying to submit the guy beside me. I'm sitting there just having fun and enjoying it. I try and move and it doesn't work out and I get submitted, man, then cool, man. Let's go to the next and realize that doesn't work. And I just more laid back and relaxing. But I'm still getting better every day.
Yeah. Well, the fight that we just mentioned against Darren was an absolute war, as many fans were expecting. After fights like that, do you feel a sense of maybe pride in what happened? And do you enjoy going through something like that as a professional fighter?
Man, I love to fight, and the fight that me and Darren had is a very unique fight to both of us. I mean, and then to the fans as well. Everybody enjoyed that style. Am I proud of that fight? Yeah, I mean that's my first UFC win. There's a lot of heads turned that night. But am I satisfied with how I performed? No, not really. I feel like I didn't show who I am. I feel like the adrenaline took over, and I sat there, and every fighter brings a different fighter out of you, and I think that's what Darren brought out of me. But it's good to have that kind of fight. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy that. That means all the training that I went through during that time, paid off. Everything did well, and Darren, he's an amazing guy because he took that fight on short notice. He took that fight because Vitor Miranda would back out. So that's the fighting style that he wanted to have, and that's the fighting style that I turned into. And it came down to who wanted it more in that sense. And like I said, I'm not going to give up.
And your personality is something that many fans and media members have picked up on and have really enjoyed. Is that charisma something that you seem to have? Is that charisma something that comes quite naturally to you?
I mean, yeah. Honestly, if you ask anybody that knows me, you ask anybody about me that's hung around me for more than a couple minutes, that's me. That's 100% who I am. I'm not sitting there trying to be somebody I'm not. I just want to have fun, man. I'll say it over and over. That's me. I'm a different dude. I'm wild. When you look at me, you expect this grizzly dude that's all mean-looking guy, and the next thing you know, I'm just a little teddy bear. That's a little weird.
It's a great explanation, and we'll rewind a bit here to before Winnipeg and back to Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. There were a lot of eyes on that show back in the summer, and because of that, there was a lot of interest in your fight, even more so when you fought in December. Did you feel any added pressure because of that?
Because of the Contender Series?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. When I was on the Contender Series, man, like, I don't feel pressure at all. You know, I believe, like, you have to learn how to handle pressure in this game because no matter what, you're always going to be pressured. Whether, you know, in a fight in real life, or not real life, I mean, just out in everyday life, you're always going to have some sort of pressure or something that pushes you, and you have to learn how to control yourself. So I had no pressure. I think the main thing with Winnipeg was me is that I was so excited to finally be where I wanted to be and be on the first doorstep that I had more adrenaline, and I wasn't able to control my adrenaline. Now, on the Contender Series, I was able to control my adrenaline, you know, because it wasn't like I was sitting there and I was like, man, I wasn't fighting for a contract in the Contender Series. I wasn't fighting to get that KO of the year. I was just fighting because I love fighting. Mm-hmm. And fast forward to Winnipeg, man, I was fighting in there because I love fighting, but my adrenaline took over too. So I didn't get to perform the way I wanted. And again, I enjoyed that fight. I love that fight, but I only have, you know, one or two fights like that in my career.
Yeah. Well, in that fight, you managed to secure the first pro submission finisher of your career. Are you happy that now fans can see that you possess something extra in your arsenal? And do you think that's going to make you more feared within the division moving forward?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't care. You know, no matter what, when people look at you, they're always going to be sitting there trying to, like, tell you, oh, this person's only this person's only that. You know, you can label me how I want or how you want. I'm just going to go out there and do what I do. You know, I spoke with Dana too, and I told him, hey, man, I'm not a person that's going to go out there and look for a knockout. I'm not going to go out there and look for a submission. I'm going to go out there and look to perform. Because if I perform, one of those things will fall into place, you know? Like, I can't tell you I was going to get a front choke on Darren at all. I couldn't see that happening, man. I didn't see that ever. I've never submitted anybody out. Do I have that in my arsenal? Yes. Was that the most readily option that was in there? Yes. But, you know, fans are, regardless, they see that I got the submission, they're probably going to look at it differently. You know, they're going to be like, he's still a striker. Yeah. That's fine with me.
Away from the octagon, you've touched on some things that you like to do in your off time. What would you say some of your favourite hobbies are that some fans may not be aware of?
Oh, man, I like to boulder. My big old giant gorilla-looking body climbing up the rocks, the side of the mountain, or just indoor bouldering where there's no rope, no nothing like that. I enjoy that. It's so fun, man. Like, I love it. And plus, if I fall, you know, it definitely gives you a thrill, a different thrill. You're like, oh, you know, have you almost missed a step whenever you're walking up the step and you get that jolt feeling?
Yeah.
Just imagine that intensified whenever you fall off of a rock. It's funny. And then I like hiking. You know, I like anything to do outdoors, or bike riding, all that stuff. You know, I like to go out, and that's like a piece of serenity that I have. You know, it's enjoyable. You know, being outdoors is who I am. Whether it's going out and shooting, hunting, I've been inviting people out to go bowling recently. You know, I love it all.
Given that you've got so many of these activities outside of the octagon and things like that, how active are you hoping to be moving forward? Like, some fighters like to have time off and breaks, but some like to keep as active as they possibly can. Where do you kind of fall in that category?
Man, I have 10 years devoted to this, you know. 10 years. I'm 27 right now. I have 10 years and I'm giving everything I have. And if I can fight, you know, 5 times a year, that means I'll have 50 fights before my career is over. If I fight 4 times a year, that could be 40 fights. So I want to stay as active as I can and keep going and going. I want this to be my lifestyle. I've changed everything around that. I still work. I still work a part-time job just so I can get my mind away from fighting as well. But I'm still training for my next fight, even though I don't know who it is or when it's going to be. I'm still training right there. I'm still training to get better. I'm still training to level my character up. Because if he calls me tomorrow and says, hey, man, we're going to fight so-and-so on this date, I already have a step ahead, and I'm already ready, Yeah. All I need to do is just get fight ready, and that would be fight ready quick.
And you spoke about how many years you've committed to this already and how many you're planning on committing to this. What would you say the one piece of advice you think you could be able to give to an upcoming amateur fighter who wants to do maybe anything they can to make it in the big leagues?
Man, the best thing is, and this is something I've done in my career, is know your body. Know your body. And at the beginning of my career, I was always just like, I listened to everybody else and just kept going and going and going and going and going and going to the point where, like, I was deteriorating my body. I was hurting. I wasn't able to perform the way I wanted to. I wasn't able to get the stuff or the results that I wanted to in practice. And, I felt drained mentally, physically, emotionally. And it got to the point where, it was rough at one point in time. And then I started listening to my body. Like, if I was working out and I felt like something was wrong with my leg or something was wrong with my shoulder or I just didn't feel good, I'll be like, all right, and I'll just chill out at home. I'd call in for the day. My coaches would always get mad at me or teammates, they'd say whatever. And I'm just like, hey, man, I just need to heal myself. And I'll take a day off, and then I'll go in the next day and have a beautiful practice, an amazing practice. Or maybe I had to take 2 days off, And it's just, I started figuring out my body. My body spoke to me, and I listened to it, other than other people, because, like, again, you have a lot of invest in your coach and a lot of invest in your teammates. So whenever they say keep training, they don't know your body, they don't know how you're feeling, and they want help. And they want to, get you better, and they believe that you have to be in the gym 24/7, but you also have to take care of yourself. And if you don't, then, you'll be hurt.
Do you think maybe, like, somewhere down the line when you are done with fighting, do you think coaching is something you might want to move into?
I haven't even thought about that. I don't think about it, I don't hold mitts for people. I don't sit there and go and act like I'm a coach or go teach anybody anything because right now I'm focused on me. I will have my end goal and everything later on, but right now I'm not even thinking about coaching. I'm not even thinking about after my 10 years. I'm thinking about right here and right now because, I could plan for the future with everything, and school-wise, when I got my degree, I planned for everything. Right now, I'm focusing on being me and who I am because, if I start focusing on other things, then my mind starts drifting away, and then I forget what I'm doing it for.
And finally,
I live in the moment.
Yeah, it's a good mentality to have. And finally, what do you think the next 18 to 24 months have in store for Julian Marquez?
Well, the way I look at it like this is I believe, this, I kicked my way into the UFC. I got people to stand up on my first fight in the UFC. And I think my next fight, I'm going to turn heads in the UFC. And the world's going to know Julian Marquez here in the next 18 months. And they're either going to be with me or they're going to be against me. Either way, I'm going to enjoy my time and have fun.
Well, Julian, we are most certainly going to be with you. It's been a pleasure speaking to you today. Really can't wait to see your next fight, the one after that and beyond. Best of luck with everything moving forward.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much for the interview. I appreciate it.